Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am imron syahroni, absolutely in English Department Education. Today we would like to discuss about narrative research. Before talking about narrative research, absolutely we have to focus and we have to master in English Education Department or English Department in Education. English is general, English is very abstract, and English is very formal. And today, back to the first point, I would like to tell about narrative research. Before going to the narrative research, we have to know what is narrative. Narrative in this book is understood as a spoken or written text which gives an account of an event or action or series of events or actions that is chronologically connected in this book. But I will explain you in an easy explanation. So narrative is something that it's found, it is spoken or it is written, but from the history, from the story, from the experience of other person, and absolutely that will make it. That will be a science for the other people. Yeah, that is narrative. For example, I have extremely good, I have an extremely interesting story or experience, and I write on a paper and I publish it. I publish to all people, and so it will be a science for the other people. It will be a research for me, and it will be discourse for other people. Means narrative research. Yeah. What I explained before means narrative research, but the narrative itself is only something, story or history or experience from the other people that we write or we record. Yeah. And now I will tell about the best or two main points. For the first point is the type of narrative studies, and the second point is the procedure in conducting narrative research. In narrative, there are four types. In narrative studies, there are four types. For the first type is biographical study, and the second type is autobiographical study, and the third type is life story study, and the fourth type is oral study. For the first is our biographical study. It means the writer, the researcher write the experience, the history or story from the other people. For the example, I write the experience of our president, Insinyur Jokowi, and I take the important experience to make it some. It's like science. It's like knowledge for the young generation. That is what biographical means. And the second is autobiographical studies. Autobiographical studies mean the writer or the researcher write and record it themselves. Yeah. Who has the story, they will record and write their story themselves by themselves. For the example, I have new experience that make me learn from what I passed, from what I did before, and I write it, make it some. I make my experience, my history as research. and I publish it for making in order that it makes science know that my experience have a science, my experience have a chronological connected. And for the third is life story. Life story studies. In this book tells the narrative study of an individual's personal experience found in single or multiple episodes, private situation, or communal folklore. Means we will write or we will record someone's history, someone's experience that have an episode, methode. That have an episode also have communal folklore private situation. For the example, I write the experience or the history from Insinyur Soekarno. I write the story of Insinyur Soekarno from the book, from the other book of history, and I try to critically, I try to critique that book, and I try to connect with the other person's history, and so the history of Soekarno will have a science inside it. So I take the story or history or experience from the other people to be written by me in my narrative research, means of life history. And the fourth is an oral study, means I take the study, I take the experience from one people, from the other people, and from the other person. For the example, I take the history of Soekarno, I take the history of Soeharto, and I take the history of Gus Dur, and I make it in one point. Yeah. The one point, I make the specific point, that is the problematica research, that is the main the main point research, and that is the motivation research. After that, I gather it and I write and I publish it. It means and it will be called as narrative research or an oral study. And the last is procedures in conducting narrative research. There are 5 procedures in conducting narrative research. For the first, identify a research problem to explore. Absolutely, you have or we have identifying a research problem. We have to make clear, we have to make complete, we have to make correct the research problem and explore. To explore to the other area, to the other people, and so on. And the second is select one or more individuals to study or to research. To make our research being perfect, we not only have one individual person to experiment, one individual person to tell it, but we have to have 3 or 4 or more persons information to make our research better, to make our research correct, to make our research complete. Yeah. And the third is collecting information or story from the participant. After that, we collect the story, we collect the experience, we collect what they told to us from the story, who will be right by us. And the fourth is analyze or restory the participant's story. Absolutely, we have to analyze it 1, 2, 3 times to make our research good, better, no false and absolutely correct. And the fifth is collaborate with the participant or storyteller. Absolutely, we have to collaborate with the storyteller. We have to collaborate with the participant. What will be J and what will be risk story. In order that our research not only have some abstract story or abstract research, but good to the point and absolutely give a science, give motivation for the other reader. Thanks so much. Come back again in another time. I'm imron syahroni. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.